All right, everybody, we're here for the grad show. This is the under 1,000 show. Sometimes, it's really a lot of people. Today, not so much. So today will be a kind of shorter, definitely a shorter stream today. Sometimes we had, a whole reason I used to do it in one show, all of the graduates. And today I could have done it all in one show. It's not that much, only 12. Well, I hope nothing's going wrong with the dojo, man. Anyways, it's going to be a light day today, but that gives us more time to get into each person's business. Okay, so here we go. So post is here. Nice. J noun is our first up. Let's take a look. And now what I have to do, no, it's okay. We look at J noun. We're going to follow J noun. And we're going to see J noun has not done any of our tactics tests. I'm going to guess, I guessed correctly. J noun is pretty new to the dojo. But as you can see, has done quite well, 600. And this would be cool if J noun did some of these tests so we could gain a sense. These, though, indicate that J noun is kind of right where they should be in terms of their tactical ability, at least. Okay, so here's where it gets mildly complicated. So I hit games. I'm going to do something new today. And I'm going to hit one of these bad boys. And this is, we're going to try something new here. So we're going to hit Dojo Game Review. And hopefully this is going to work better for us. It also demands that I go back and forth between streams, and especially because a lot of times I can get really deep into these games. I can get so immersed that I forget about, streaming and yada, yada. Okay, so the first thing we can say is that we are dealing with a fundamental mistake that we see again and again at the dojo, and that is people playing too fast. So as you can see, this is a 30-minute game, and our guy at least took a couple minutes, and his opponent didn't take any time at all, right? In fact, just no time at all. And it looks like they blundered their queen, and then it was over. Okay, so although J noun, we could say, hey, obviously won the queen and stuff, J noun was definitely moving too fast as well. The next thing we can say to J noun is that I looked at some of J noun's other annotations, and they're kind of looking like this too. Very sparse on description of what's going on. Now, when you're new to the dojo, new to annotating your games, this is a little bit of a process you might expect. You have a couple thoughts that you have, and then you say to yourself, well, that's all that there was in that game, right? Well, let's go through it, and I'll talk about what I think maybe we could have talked about in addition. So to me, this is a bad move. Knight takes d4, because now, even though the queen's out early, the queen can't be attacked. And that's usually why we say, don't bring your queen out early, because she gets attacked with tempo. But here she can't really be messed with. Okay, so white's already doing well. Good move. Little funky. And probably a good move. Probably. It's going to get a little interesting. And that is because black could have considered now queen e7 or knight h5 to deal with this pin. Okay, and does eventually play queen e7. Not eventually, they play it instantly. They play it instantly. Okay, queen e7. Good move, I think. And now black should very much consider knight h5. And we want a variation here. And the problem is, look at that. Bam! Oh, no! Now we got him. And this looks terrible for black. It's probably going to lose a piece here. Yeah, it just looks absolutely abysmal. So one of the things that we would want to investigate is like, is it already lost for black here? Maybe. In which case, that's probably our best move. It's nasty though, isn't it? It's very nasty. Okay, but so then this might be the double question mark already. Because with knight g8, it's not immediately lost. And I guess you could say the same thing here, that black needs to play. Well, it's so rough. Because now on knight g8, you got to deal with that bad boy. You know, not very nice for Mr. Spice. So this happens, and you take with a pawn, which is very frisky. Very frisky. Right. And here we want to, now, by the way, I'm just going off a little bit on what I see in the game. And the point is then for you to say, oh, there were things I could have thought about here. So for example, knight h5, queen e4, hitting the rook. Let's just say c6 for half. Let's play rook b8, actually. Because see, here's it's kind of interesting. We would like to play g4, but then bishop b7 hits us. And then on knight d5, maybe bishop b7 anyway, right? There's real questions going on, though. So, for example, like this, I don't know. Do I want to come back? Am I worried about this pin? There's questions. Oh, no, look at that one. Look at that one. Maybe I could do that one. Bam! That's a nice move, man. Look at that one. Pins all around, my friend. Pins all around. Okay. So you don't have to go this deep or anything, but I'm just trying to get you to see that there's questions are happening here that you should try to address in your analysis. And what's going to happen? Usually, we're just going to win free stuff over here. Oh, and then look. And this is what happens oftentimes when we're playing people online. We're playing somebody who is so distracted by their being online that they're only able, I mean, when we see a minute spent, a lot of that is them maybe just finding the mouse. You know, is finding the mouse because they didn't think at all going on here. And one of the ways that we're going to make 1,000, which is 1250 ChessCom, and I did a video, you can watch this, it came out yesterday, is one of the key things to realize is that if learning to take your time is an incredible practical advantage and will be one of the keys to unlocking that rating for you. Seeing at the dojo all the time. So this is not something special where somebody doesn't use any of their time. We see this all the time, especially in the under 1,500 cohorts, people moving too fast. It's a mix of anxiety plus the online world, you know, where they're just, when you have that anxiety, you're just going to have this impulsiveness about you, and you're just going to move. You know, then the game will soon be over. It will soon be over. Okay, cool. So, all right. Let's go back. And now I have to switch scenes. This is the hard part for me. I'm going to have to remember this every time. And I'm going to forget it, and then please just tell me. Tell me when I miss it. Mr. Post says, annotate your questions, try to find lines you missed during the game. Absolutely, and really, for the under 1,000 cohort, what you really want to be looking for is where people were hanging stuff. And a lot of those questions I had were, well, when he refused to develop and did all these terrible things, at what point is he losing? At what point is a piece hanging, right? And as you can see, it was kind of complicated, right? It was kind of complicated. All right. So next up, we have the Doom Duck. And the Doom Duck says, it is hard to focus on studying chess being at work all day and traveling to fairs on top. I wonder what kind of fairs he's traveling to. I'm afraid that my time spent on chess games is falling short and I start to forget some patterns I should be familiar with already. I try my best to do the tactics suggested, but I couldn't even finish the tactics books of the last 2 cohorts. Furthermore, I'm a bit disappointed that my rating went back down again from almost 1150 back to below 1100, but I hope I'll be getting better in the long run with the dojo program. Grüße aus Deutschland to all the members of the dojo. Okay, so this is the Doom Duck. All right, adult improver. He's a young man, and doing it as a hobby. Great. Do it either 100% or 0%, right? Goal for 2024 is to achieve a constant 1,000 plus rating at ChessCon. Right, which definitely he is at right now. As a long-term goal, I've set myself a rating of 18 to 2,000 in the next 5 years. Okay, so I'll follow here the Doom Duck. One thing I really want to stress about goals, I strongly suggest that Doom Duck and others, when they see this graduation work of 100 points, that next graduation should be the only thing you're really looking at. It might be easy, it might be hard, but in general, it will be definitely an achievement. And this whole show we do on Wednesdays, the Under 1,000 show, it's not necessarily an easy journey to make it to 1,000. And as I pointed out in the video, when you make 1,000, which is 1,000 R rating system, 1215 ChessCom, what that means is that you are in the top 10% of all ChessCom players. Impressive, right? Impressive number. So as you can imagine, it's going to get exponentially harder and more competitive as you go up. Okay, let's take a look. Has done his test. Checkmate test is 660. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Really well done. So hopefully we'll see him doing more of the checkmate and tactics tests. Now we're rolling out the end game tests and the positional tests as well. So that's something really cool. And that's just a gauge for Doom Duck to be working on there. So an average of 869, very close to his normalized rating here. Okay. So now we'll take a look at clubs. We got some German dojo, and now we're going to go. We have one game. We're going to click this game, and now I'm going to switch scenes. Boom. Okay. So here we have a game where Doom Duck definitely used their time. And this was a game in an hour. So you can see Doom Duck really used his time, and it does. Usually what we see is that it's not until people start getting to 1,500 plus where they actually get time control, time pressure, time problems, Zeitnot. And maybe Doom Duck is this person. It's usually people who enjoy thinking, and it kind of seems like that's how this thing went. Well, we'll see how it was. Both players though thinking here, so that's very encouraging. All right, let's get into it. So are you guys thinking of having like a changing set? It would be nice to retake tests after some time. Definitely. We have more and more tests coming, and the test rating, whether it's the checkmate test or the tactics test, is the average of the last 3 tests, right? So if you do terrible on one of them, it'll be, first of all, it'll average out, but then eventually that test will get knocked out as you keep doing tests. Okay, so C3, a little weird, of course, and I like your note, prepares D4 but takes the natural square of the knight. Here's a funny thing about this move, is we talked about in the last game about the queen on D4, if you remember. And because white's blocked that square, all of a sudden developing the queen isn't so dumb because she can't get knocked, right? Now, what I want you to see about knight c6 is it can't be a bad move, but this pawn is dealing with that knight. All right, here we go. Good, and now a little bit weird. Now, maybe d4, but they were worried about losing this pawn, right? So So d3. Now we're going to have a slower game. Good move. Okay. Good move. Poor. Now, it's not the end of the world, but slow. Now, one of the things that I put out in that video that applies here, and we see it, in just show after show, is that your opponents, especially all the way up until 1500, will often lose time. They might not give you pieces as easily, though in the under 1000 we still expect it, right? But they will give you time. And here, that's what white has done. We are up significantly in development. In fact, let's count it out. We've got 3 developed to their 2, plus it's our move. So I would say we are up, what am I going to say? 2 tempi. Right? And that's amazing. It's just move 6 here, and we're black. Good move. Little funky. I was afraid of knight g5. So, this is a little funky symbol here. I think he means castles. This is the move I was afraid of. Oh, you know what that is? You know what that is? That's not a castles. That's the 0 move feature. Okay, you guys, this is kind of amazing. So, Jack really wanted to do a 0 move feature of the database. So that just means where, for example, if you're using a computer and you want to know what the threat is, right? You do a 0 move and you're basically asking the computer like, okay, what do I have to worry about in this position? But it also allows us to do this where he's just showing what he was afraid of. So this is the first time I'm seeing it. It's pretty cool. And he writes, this is the move I was afraid of. If I now castle, I can trade a knight for my bishop and I have to move the f-pawn. So material would be equal, but I don't have the bishop pair anymore, and castling kingside isn't possible anymore. Okay, let's talk about this. So let's say we're up 2 tempi, right? Let's say I castle, so instead of h6, and the guy plays knight g5. Now we are up 3 tempi, 3, right? And let's just say, I don't know, we play a natural move, queen d7. Okay, and then they take, because that was your fear, right? Okay, we take. Could take with the queen too. But now notice our rook is developed. And now maybe, I don't know, we could do a lot of different things. Knight h5, rook f7, rook over. We're doing great. So the thing that to see about this is I want you to trust in development, because your opponents will give you this time. Yeah. Hubskirt says he still doesn't understand the no move. Honestly, it's kind of a new thing. I've never seen it. But I will say Jack worked hard for his no move. Jack worked hard for it. And I can imagine uses for it. Obviously, the Doom Duck knew about it. So here we go. h6, knight b3. Kind of poor, because the knight really doesn't know where it's going from there. Queen d7, fine. Fine. It's a little frisky to castle that way. And I really like what you're doing here. You could have done other things, but you're just putting everything in the center waiting to see what happens. g4, kind of funky. Bishop e2 might be a little bit more natural. All right, you try to gain some space. Okay. Okay, good. I'm lacking ideas, therefore I try to improve the positioning of my pieces. Very nice. Now, was that necessary? You could have played knight e7. Good move, I like it a lot. Oh, he's getting frisky. Okay, so now something I want you to see here is a great rule of thumb is when your opponent changes the structure of the position, as he's doing here, that is the moment for us to think. Instead, you played with 45 seconds very quickly, knight g6. And this is definitely also the moment. This is a moment of crisis that we have to think about. So, pawn moves, it's time to rethink the position a little bit, right? Now, let me show you some variations. I think that's the real question for me. Now on queen e4, I would have two questions from here. Bishop f7, threatening bishop g6, but also snip, snop, tuka, tonka. Oh, we don't want tuka tonka. No. We don't want tuka and tonka, right? So we don't want tuka and tonka. That move maybe as well, right? And then, as I said, bishop f7 also looks kind of tasty. Yeah. So a variation might go bishop f7, king b1, check to the miserable queen, queen here, knight here, queen here, and then you get your beautiful thing. You get your beautiful knight, and that you had a great goal to get there too. Okay. So by the way, that is not an exhaustive analysis on my part. I'm sure there's a lot more to talk about, but I'm just trying to give you two things, a sense of what the critical moment is, and then the need to pursue the variations, right? Yeah, this one's spicy. Okay, so knight g6, bishop b5. Oh my gosh, no one's even considering taking things. Now I have I think an important question. If dude had taken this and unleashed the queen onto the bishop, are you going to lose a coconut? At first glance anyways, it looks like you're losing a coconut, right? And this is the kind of thing we really want to find in the game analysis. We could even go further and go here, here, and here, intending to regain a big old coconut there. But there's a lot of different moves that white could do here. Queen f6, queen h6, king b1. Looks like they're escaping. Maybe queen c2 is even here. Even here, wait, slow down, Kraai. Even here, it's not so simple. We're talking to this bishop. Oh yeah, this is really spicy actually, isn't it? Because queen c2, I go bishop e4, and on bishop d3, I got this coconut. Maybe I can get fancy with rook d3. Again, this is not an exhaustive analysis. I just want to share some of the things that I'm seeing. And definitely, I think both players weren't thinking about the coconut, right? The main thing is, yes, it can be complex, but I want you to see it's really about the coconut. Now, the good news is, Doomduck, you are thinking. No one is accusing you of not thinking here. All right, bishop b5, a6, takes, knight a5. A little weird. Now, one thing I will say when you're playing at this level is that these opponents will often not only move kind of fast, this guy's doing fine with time, but they don't know how to build the position, so they're going to make a lot of let's call them simple threats like knight a5, because that didn't do anything, right? And now we said takes, and now takes. Now, I'm not necessarily thrilled with taking that knight. I would definitely be interested in knight f4, because that's what a great bishop we had. And that knight was kind of a chump. Okay, so bishop takes, rook takes, and now he definitely well, here he's losing a pawn directly to DE, right? We should say that first of all. Our queen is protecting our coconut. Okay, so queen a4, though, maybe you're still winning a pawn. Your position, by the way, is really great. So the thing we should say here is b4 is not what he wants. And this move would have been far more challenging to meet, right? I'm not sure you're winning a pawn. Yeah. So again, these tactical things are the most important for you to analyze after the game. The most important, because this is really where the game is getting decided. So queen a4 is fancy. That's a nice pin. That's definitely very unpleasant for him. He finds this move. Good move. And now we're drifting into a mild time pressure. Notice, okay, let's talk about this. It's a difficult moment for white. I mean, maybe he can hang on, right? But this looks frightening, you know. And he makes this move, h4. To me, it again feels a little bit like a threat that, I don't know. Now, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. I'm just saying it's looking real loose. Now, one bummer is when we play e4, he's got knight d4. So that's unfortunate. Well, we need a good move here. Well, maybe it's not so easy. I feel like he deserves some punishment. All right, one suggestion I have is queen e4, check to the miserable king. Now, no defending with queen c2 because this coconut is hanging. So let's just put on a1. We could change our mind in a second. Then we play this knight here. This is called an octopus because it's whenever we put a knight here, it just controls so many cool squares. Like the fact that we're preventing rook e1, excuse me, that's a cool thing. And we have a threat, knight f2. We might at some point also have this threat, right? So this looks unpleasant at the very least. It's not easy for him to defend that pawn. And this knight's I don't know what you call him, a bomber, an OG, whatever way you want to call him. He's powerful. Okay, so that's kind of like your opponent. When you don't know what to do, you're making a threat. Okay, so he tries to get fancy. And now you thought for a long time to play e4. It's unclear what it's doing, right? Now, let's just talk about what's happening. It's a very dangerous game that white is playing. Because white is saying, I am going to break through over here before you, with your more stuff, are going to actually get at me. Maybe, maybe not. What we'd really like to do, I think, is to put a rook on this file. Not so easy to get there, right? Yeah, maybe not so easy to get there. And this queen e4 thing, I'm not sure yet how it's going to work. And it's a little bit of a bummer. A little bit of a bummer. So not easy, at least for me, to see some path, even though I believe that you are the one who should have the rights to play for an advantage here. Because see, e4, knight f5, he's controlling this. Maybe that was your intention. And now you went passive. Oh, no, we don't want that. Queen d2. Yeah, queen d4 also looks good. Knight d3. Snip. Terrible move. They should definitely, at least the first thought should be this one, because on knight h6, now their knight is pinned. All right, so you went knight e5, and then they missed it, and you went bam. Now you're winning. You said, thank you very much. Good move. Good move. Oh, it's got to be good, right? Got to be good. Oh, look at that nice one. Yep. Okay, so there we go. All right. So, Doomduck, you're doing great. These are good annotations, too. These are great. Okay, so now I need to change scenes. I'm going to forget to do this someday. And we're going to go back. And next up we have Ryura Ryura? I don't know. So now we go over here. We're going to follow Ryura, and they joined very recently, and they're up to 923. Maybe they don't have anything for us. Well, they did do the checkmate test, and as you can see, this rating average is very close to their actual rating. Yeah. Cool. And we want them to do the tactics tests too. Let's see if they got some clubs yet. New York City, okay. And now we're going to go games. And we do have one. And now I'm going to switch scenes here. Okay, so here's our time graph. And now this is more typical. We're going to have two players who aren't using their time, right? Okay, we see it all the time. Again, I put it in my video. Maybe I should find my video, huh? So in this video, I listed 3 things that, because I've done this graduation show and I've gone over thousands of games, thousands. And if you can just understand what these 3 things are, it will very much help. And here we go. I'm going to link to the vid here. Boom. And then also in the YouTube chat. So, all right. Okay, so here we go. D4. Good development so far. Fine. Fine. Now, I give this speech every time. One of the things that we do is we say you shouldn't try to learn opening stuff until you are at the 1200 cohort. We allow a little bit at the 11 to 1200 cohort. And the reason is we want you to be able to think about what's going on instead of just think about it in terms of opening principles instead of just moving. So for example, so far you've made great developing moves. This one, well, we could debate it a little bit. You're hitting a rock. You're hitting a rock. So maybe not that one. But in general, if you develop your pieces, I'm not going to yell at you. So here we go. D5, knight D2. Bishop F5, a little funky, and you decide to take it. Queen E2, good move. I like that you're developing. And then here again, we're going to see it C3. Poor move. Let's read what you write. At this point, I was hoping to use the rook on the H file to get in an attack, so I knew I was going to castle queenside. I figured C3 would allow me to finish my pyramid while taking away the B4 square from the knight. Okay, so there's many positions where C3 makes sense. Here, makes no sense. Plus, because it's not helping your pieces, right? Plus, it's not actually helping your king's security. The pawn could be used as this break could be used as a battering ram to open up the white king, right? So just imagine there's multiple ways to play this position. By the way, that would be fine. That would be fine. But if you C3 costs a tempo, right? C3 costs a tempo because it's not really doing anything, and like I said, it's going to make your king position a little worse. Now, again, the speech. Why are you doing it? Because in the London, you often see people put the pawn on C3. This is why we want you to stick to opening principles until you're a little bit more further along. All right. By the way, you're talking about getting the rook in, and I will say that this is a very spicy position. He's going to have to come after you, and you're going to come after him. A idea here, I think, that's interesting for me anyways, would be to play for H3 and G4. And if we lose a pawn, we lose a pawn, but we're going to try to light him up here. Probably taking on G4 is insane, in fact, because he's going to open himself up. Okay, so here we go. C3, knight E4. Now, maybe not a bad move, but let's just note that it's not a developing move. Castles, okay, this was your intention. Knight A5, does anyone get it? I don't get it. This seems like a pretty slow move given that there are no other pieces to support the knight on A5. I decided it should be safe to remove the knight on E4. Okay. So let's just talk about time for a second, right? So now we're in like a middle game. In the opening, we can count tempi and we can talk about who's ahead in time. Here, it's going to be a question of who's going to say knock knock on the king first, the white king. Now, first thing, this knight e4 is a very committal decision, and you made it pretty quickly. And so, again, one of the takeaways is if you move slower, your rating is going to go up. But then it asks the question, well, Kraai, how do you want to open this black player up? And again, I think we should be looking to play g4. We could do this a number of different ways. We could play h3, g4. We could put our rook here and then launch it. We could probably put it there and launch it too. Or just say screw it, like that. And if he protects it somehow, we'll say, oh, all right, let's go. And the thing I want to show about time is because it's castling on opposite wings, we really want to move. We need to move because whoever gets at that king first, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so fe4, knight d2. Now the knight can't participate easily in the attack on the black king. c6, slow. They should definitely be considering moves like queen d7, a4, or rook c8, c5. Okay. Not sure how that's going to work. h5. Okay. h6 with a threat. f5. Okay. Queen g3. Good. Now notice, though, with this, that the way this went down, it's only your bishop and your queen who are involved in the attack now. The good news is black put his queen way out on the other side of the board. So they're not there anymore. Rook f6. Bishop e5 looks good. And now they blunder with knight c4. And whenever you put a question mark, tell us where you think they should go. And it seems like rook f7 is where they should go, right? And the challenge here for us would be, how do I get some more pieces onto the black king? And you can see why I was a little bit upset about this knight coming back, because now I don't know how to get it into the attack. The position's still great. I just don't know immediately how I'm going to do this thing here. I suppose a very ambitious plan would be rook h3, move the queen somewhere, and then rook g3 in. That's it. That's not a bad plan, right? Okay, mistake. You say thank you very much. And now you do this one. Boom. Okay, I like it. Good. Simple chess. Simple chess. Ooh, evil chess. Check to the miserable king. Very nice. Oh, now we're hurting him real good. Queen f6. Oh, very nice. Oh, buddy. Very nice. Yeah. Now, great breakthrough. One of the things you could see about this is you can imprint this on your mind and say, oh, attack on opposite wings. This is what happens when somebody gains the initiative. This is textbook. I loved your finish. Very nice, very smooth. Hi, Ripshin Desk. Okay. So that was great. That was great. And Ryura is making good progress. Also, let's just say, very nice annotations. Okay, let's change the scenes. And we're back here. And next up, we have Rob Hassett, who has graduated many times. To me, it's a big deal. That's what the video was about, people who make it above 1,000. And you can see Rob is an an exemplary member of the dojo, having graduated 3 times here. Available to play very early in the AM. Okay. So, beautiful progress, 1027. And they're working on their USCF. And we want them to, they haven't done any tactics work. They haven't done anything. Now, when did they start? Last year, May. So they've been with us a year and have graduated 3 times. Okay, clubs. New England. Nice. All right, games. We got some games. We do. Let's click on this one. Wait a second. These were played last year. So, oh, and you know what I forgot to do? I'm supposed to be clicking on mark as reviewed. So maybe I'll go back and fix that. So so this is unfortunate because he's done a lot of annotation work, but nothing recently, right? This is from last year. So I don't know if it's fair to look at these ones here. Also not that much work done. Okay, so Rob, congratulations. We want you to do some annotations again. You were at a very strong level of doing them before, and now, you gotta come back. All right. So let's just quickly click in here. Login expired. That always happens. So I'm gonna go games. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna mark as reviewed. So, I blew it here. Oh, I made a little mistake. A little boo-boo. It's not that bad. Also, we can do this one and go games and go here. And then we'll go mark as review. And then Ryura as well. We are going to mark as review. Okay, very important, or else the boomer GM will forget. And, I'll end up looking at the save game, and people will be like, boss, you already went over that last year. All right, next up we have B. Burks. And B. Burks says, after playing casually as a kid and a little bit on Yahoo Chess as a young adult 25 years ago, I got into chess when I realized my over 40-year-old brain wasn't as sharp as it used to be. It doesn't get any easier. I hope playing and studying chess would give my brain a workout. While it's been great for that, my improvements started to stall a few months back. Then I joined the free dojo, liked it, and became a paid member last month. That's great. What I think has really helped me at this rating level was memorizing the Immortal game and playing through the games in the Morphe book. Seeing how every move leads to the next one and how to continually gain tempi on your opponent has been very helpful to me. I think I am still somewhat tactically weak, but having more center control and active pieces has helped give me better tactical chances. I can also tell that I'm getting stronger tactically too, even if it doesn't always feel that way because I'm spotting mates in particular faster than I used to. Looking forward to continuing my progress in the next cohort. Cool. So let's go take a look. 45 years old. Oh, it's hard. So, and they joined officially recently, but they were a free user before. Okay. So, 1,035. Look at that. This was the free tier right here. And then he started into the Dojo Training Program. Boom! It is exploded. All right, let's see. We have been doing tactics stuff. And what is interesting is his sense was that his tactics might be weaker than his overall game. And maybe that's true. I would say there's several reasons to do these tests. One of them, though, is to gain a sense of where you are tactically. The other really important thing is it pushes you, these tests. I've actually had the ability to watch some people, like doing a screen share, do these tests, and it's frustrating. The clock is ticking. It's just like a real game in that way. And kind of like a real game, especially when it comes to the under 1,000 players, is a typical problem we see with the under 1,000 players. They're moving too quickly. And in the tests too, you really have to dive into the position, think about what's going on, double check your answer, then double check it again, see if you're missing something, and only then do the solution. It takes a lot of energy, right? A lot of energy. Okay, so let's take a look. We're going to go clubs, Indiana, Chicago, okay. And now we're going to go games, and we're going to check this one out here. I'm going to switch screens here. All right, so the market's reviewed, and we're going to get into this here. This is B. Burks playing white. Beautiful chess so far. And ED4 is a little bit non-conventional because they're ceding their center. Good move. Poor move, right? So, all right. So when we're at this level, I say this every show, when we're at this level, we're going to see a lot of moves that break the principles. Bishop D3, good move. D5, and a very nice move, castles. Very nice. Very nice. So you give a great line here about why this is not possible. Well done. That's the kind of line we want. And what I love about this castling move is it shows really like you're opening the door to winning a lot of games like this, right? Because people are not going to be developing their pieces. Let's talk about it. Simple threat, they don't know what to do, so they attack something, right? Then you say, nope, I'm going to defend. He does this move, not developing their pieces, right? And you go, bam. And so nice because now you're up so many tempi. So many tempi. Yeah, and you're just killing the guy now. Just killing him. So C6, another move that isn't great because it's not bringing out their people. Good. We could also take on D5. You said check to the miserable king. Good. Bishop E7. And now we definitely want to try to knock him out. D6. Mistake. And you say, I completely missed that the queen can take the pawn. Knight F3 was better. Okay, let's get into this a little bit. We want to end this person's life here. They deserve death. So let's look at it a little bit. Knight F3 would maybe, but it's going to allow them to regain the pawn. The first thing to look at, I think, would be Knight B3. This forces, I think, Queen D6. And now, at the minimum, we can take this one, at the minimum, right? But I kind of want to find something else, too. You know, they do deserve death at this point. Yeah. There's a lot of moves I'm drawn to here. Like that move might be good. In any case, DC is our default where we're up a pawn. This is the kind of mistake where in the video I made a case, and I do believe this, where mistakes are being made in this under 1,000 level aren't necessarily deep tactics. It's more like an awareness of square control. So here with D6, you're just not aware that the queen can recapture, right? And one of the things I also said in the video, I think is very true, is it's a very hard skill to learn, right? It's like your mind is getting a mental grip on the board, and it's going to take a little bit before you're able to see things like the fact that this pawn can be chopped off the board. Okay, so here we go. Boom. Knight F3. I do like that you're developing. Why develop my queen to a more active square for me? Yes, thank you very much. And now what have you done? You followed the rules of the dojo, and now we have a beautiful position. Okay, so here you play bishop d4. And one little tactic that I think is helpful here is bishop c4. You're going to win the pawn, and you're going to break open this whole shebangs. Your move, though, looks very natural. Queen h5, g6, queen h6, and now this move is a little, what do we want to say? Imprudent. It would make a lot more sense to play bishop f6, right? And just combat your business here on the diagonal. Now, that's a bold idea. I kind of like it. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be any defense to this either. Queen b4, what is he doing? He's just threatening something. Doesn't do anything. c3, boom. And now you played g5, which makes sense. You might have other moves too. All right, let's go g5. Knight h5. Bishop e2, very nice. Very nice. f6, boom. And you say, GH is the big question. He's not going to live if he just gives up the piece. And you say, boom, boom. And you say, I think this line was stronger than the rook f7 line that black played. Okay, this is a great opportunity for you to think about how we can play for a win in this position. And there's several options here that should be looked at. One is g6. That's a big threat. Takes, king, check. Then go here or g8, and we go pop, and next move pop, and the game is over. Right? That's one way. Another way, a little bit more fancy, would be rook takes, queen takes, pawn takes. So they got to defend against this mate. Let's just put the queen here for a second. And then again, king h1, it looks real bad because I'm going to play rook g1 and I'm going to land the coconut. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so rook f7. Okay. Good move. Good move. And now you bishop d6 him. Nice. Ooh. That's a nice one. That's a welcome to the dojo. That's a welcome to the dojo right there. Yeah. Now, B. Burks, if I was going to criticize another thing, he's moving too fast. We see this all the time, right? I loved that even when you made the mistake, it was like the development meant so much of a practical advantage in this game, right? And, you know, let's say a key weakness of your opponent is they're not thinking. For example, when you play bishop h5, he's in big trouble and only thinks about rook f7 for a minute. Dude, you're hanging a piece, though. You're hanging a piece. You can't just be giving that piece away. Come on now. Come on. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a nice finish. All right, cool. So let's switch scenes. And we're back here. And now we have Lost in Ekamai. Oh, no, Lost in Ekamai has already gone up. So we're actually at the end of the show, my friends. Tomorrow, we will do the rest here. And we got some big ones. And when I mean big ones, I mean people who have been working hard, like Young Jedi and now Z Gaming. These are people that have been working hard in the dojo. We're going to see them tomorrow. So same time. And it was a light day for the graduations. Usually we have much more, but there we go. And I'm going to check a couple things here.